all happy Sri Rama Navami, guys.
Same to you.
Okay.
Same to you.
So
sir.
YARP API Gateway. Last session we discussed Oscillot API Gateway. Today we are going to talk about YARP API Gateway. This YARP is been built by Microsoft Corporation itself. Okay, Microsoft Corporation itself. This will help you to implement in enterprise-based apps. Any big enterprise application, you should go for YARP. Why? Because in Oscillot, configuration is challenging. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
See, today you have 10 methods or 20 methods, 50 methods, you can configure Oscillot. Because in Oscillot, we are configuring everything as a JSON. Am I right?
Correct.
And then that JSON we are loading in your middleware. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So here in YARP, you no need to load all the values in the YARP JSON. By default, it will automatically detect the URL. That is why Microsoft come up with this particular YARP gateway. I will teach you how to configure YARP and all those things, but I can't able to implement in my project. In our development, we go with Oscillot, but you understand how YARP works. Okay? Everybody clear?
Yes, sir.
So how much YARP is important in industry?
Most of the enterprise-based application YARP will be used.
Okay.
So it is basically a .NET Reverse Proxy. This and all you know. Introduction, what is API Gateway, what is the need in microservice, central entry point, which is similar to that. Now YARP, it is another reverse proxy gateway built by Microsoft, high performance .NET Gateway, API Gateway, .NET API Gateway, okay? So it is a reverse proxy. So the main purpose of YARP is, it will act as a reverse proxy server, reverse proxy. Do you know what is reverse proxy? We already discussed in ASP.NET Core. Do you remember what is reverse proxy?
No,
Will
sir.
my IA is a reverse proxy for ASP.NET Core application? Satish, Vivek, Sai.
No, sir. I don't remember.
Kernel, right?
Come again?
Kernel.
Kestrel. Kestrel and kernel are not a reverse proxy server. Those are inbuilt in ASP.NET Core. Whereas when you deploy an application in IIS or Nginx, those servers, those IIS servers are called as reverse proxy servers. Am I right?
Yeah.
So API Gateway is similar to that. Whenever you are implementing API Gateway with the YARP, that API Gateway will be act as a reverse proxy. Clear my point?
Okay.
See, this is how decoupled scalable systems. Client will make a request to YARP similar to your Oscillot and microservices, decoupled your system, scalable system. This is basically whatever we discussed in Oscillot in detail. The same will happen in the architectural point. Next one is high performance, flexible routing, middleware support, load balancing. These are all the key features. What is high performance? What is meant by high performance? Ashok.
Lightweight, scalable.
High performance is nothing but when if you have concurrent users, you will receive a response immediate back because the YARP is more thin code. Okay, it is not a very heavy code. Okay, whereas in OCLOT, it has to read all the JSONs and it has to route it. But here, that is not the case. That is the main reason people are talking high performance. Clear my point? And flexibly, you can route the URLs. Third one is if there is anything required in middleware, you can implement middleware also, and you can also implement load balancer. Today in OCLOT, you may have only one API gateway, whereas in YARP, you can build 2 or 3 API gateways, and then you can load balance the request. Understand my point? Large type of Swiggy, Zomato portals definitely require a lot of load balancers. Am I right?
Correct.
So those kind of projects, YARP is the right option. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Routing based on path. Where we make a routing in OCLOT based on JSON configuration. Am I right? You will go for downstream and upstream configuration, right? In OCLOT. Hello.
Right.
Whereas in here, the routing will be based on the URL path. Definitely, I can route it. And second thing is configured via app setting.json. We can configure this also through app setting.json. I will explain how to do that. Basically, middleware, custom logic, login validation, full ASP.NET Core pipeline. When I develop core pipeline, you will understand what is middleware and how it has been implemented and all, because from Monday onwards, I'm going to start that. Don't worry about it. Now, load balancing. Same thing, route balance, least request, random. Mostly people will use round robin. Okay. And fine thing is authentication. Whatever you are implementing in OCLOT, same we are implementing in YARP. Only thing is YARP can be produced major result for enterprise grade application, whereas OCLOT, the medium based application where we can work on YARP. One second, somebody is speaking. Sorry, guys. See, this one, integration with identity server. Did you hear the term identity server anywhere in the industry? Anybody heard identity server in industry? Hello?
Identity,
Yeah. Satish?
something like service discovery.
No. Satish, you are in mute. In large enterprise applications, especially within the organization, you have a identity server. Okay. The identity server is nothing but all the employee user IDs are validated through identity server. Do you remember that? Ashok?
I don't remember now.
One cognizant, one LNT. They will have a one cognizant, one LNT, everything, where you will have a different application tiles. Only you will access if you have a permission of those applications, and that will be enabled under your name. Am I right or wrong?
Internal applications.
So those, how are you going to define that these applications you are going to get access? There is a one identity server for an entire applications. These applications will talk to the identity server. Clear my point?
Okay.
Identity server is nothing but authentication and authorization, whether you are a valid user or not for accessing the application. How we are creating, see, for your own, when you go for a single application, you will create your own authentication user table and authorization table, and you will write a code and you will ensure your application is secured. Am I right?
Okay.
You understand, right?
Yes.
Similar way, what will happen if you go for a big organization? They created a one individual identity server which will be accessed by all the applications. They don't want to build the same logic with the different applications. They create one particular logic entity. That logic entity will be accessed by or integrated by different applications. Understand my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is called identity server. Who will authorize your request? Who will authenticate your request? API Gateway or individual services?
API Gateway.
So API Gateway. When you making a request, API Gateway will in turn talk to your authentication service before it go and get the product detail or whatever other detail. First, it will go and hit the authentication service or
First
Yes.
authentication will happen.
come again?
Authentication will happen first.
Yeah, authentication will happen first. For only one application we are talking. If I have multiple different applications for a different business purpose, can I create an individual authentication service can be integrated with a different application? Is it possible?
I think it is possible.
That is called identity server.
Okay.
That is called identity server. Now you understand what is identity server?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, identity server is nothing but a central repository where you ensure validation. What validation? User validation to access the limited applications. Am I right or wrong?
Correct.
Okay. So that is called identity. Modify headers, change request, response, advanced customizations. When you transfer data from client to API gateway or API gateway to client, you can modify the request. I already told you, right? whenever you make a request, there are two parts in the request body. What are all those things? You need to recap your old sessions. When you make a request from client to API, two parts will be there in the request. What are all those things?
Header and body.
Header and
Body.
Similar way for response, header and body. Am I right? So you can able to modify your header. In header, what data you are going to hold? Security data. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
All
Yes,
the
sir.
tokens will be passed through header. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can modify your header. You can change your request and response header. You can do advanced customization when you are transforming data from API gateway to client or client to API gateway. For that, we can very well use YARP. That kind of customization can be happen in YARP. Understand? Whereas in OCLAT, it is very tedious to do it. But here, you can do advanced customization in the middleware itself. Clear my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Monitoring service, ensure availability, improve reliability. All these things we are already discussed. Health check also we did. Use cases, mainly for enterprise systems, cloud native applications, high traffic applications. High traffic means what kind of applications we can expect. When I say high traffic, what type of application we can implement? Banking?
Yeah, I mean, anyone wants to log into Swiggy or Zomato. That is
Those
also
are all
part of
high traffic systems.
right.
Okay, and even banking to HDFC, ICICI Bank application. All these banking applications are high traffic systems. Agreed?
Correct.
I'm telling you, one of the biggest bank in Asia, not in Australia region, there are two major banks. One is Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Another one is Westpac. Do you remember these two banks?
Yes, sir.
These two banks predominantly using .NET as their technology. They won't use Java. The thumb rule is they want to build everything through .NET. Till today, they are even Microsoft helping them to do code. Understand my point? Whenever any new feature comes, that will be first implemented in Commonwealth Bank of Australia for their technology team. The reason behind is they are ensuring their product, whatever the release they are making in .NET, will be taken care by secured or not. Clear my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Commonwealth Bank of Australia is entire Australia's project. 80% of the customers are worked on Commonwealth Bank of Australia. Sorry, customers are accessing Commonwealth Bank of Australia accounts in Australia. Their headquarters is in Sydney because I was worked there. I was worked and I've been part of that particular project in 2011 to 2015. When I was in HCL and TCS, they are my customers. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, Indian banks.
Come again?
What about Indian banks?
They are, I don't know, ma. Say, something which I have a proof I can explain. Something I don't have a proof I can't explain, right? I was worked in that bank with that project. I'm clearly telling they are using .NET. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Advantage is high performance, highly customizable, official Microsoft support. Finally, limitation, more coding required. Now, that is the major problem in YARP. Everything you have to code, everything you have to ensure. And it is basically a steeper learning curve, no inbuilt aggregations. You don't need to write any inbuilt logics. Okay, everything you have to explicitly write and ensure the YARP gateway should be work functionally. Clear my point? Satish,
Okay.
what happened? You are not talking. Satish Kumar. Okay. So this is the
Yep.
difference between YARP. Why he left? Okay. YARP is performance plus flexibility. OCLAT is easy plus config based. Choose based on the use case. Now you tell me which use case you will choose YARP and which use case you will choose OCLAT.
For me, I will use Ocelot.
Okay. I don't understand what you said.
Ocelot will be easy, right? We can use it if it is not large application, then we can go for the Ocelot.
See, anything simple and medium based application, you can go for OCLAT. Anything enterprise based application, you can go for YARP. As simple as that. Okay.
Yeah.
See, your answer should be very precise. Yesterday also I told you. Don't think much. Give simple answers. Anything simple or medium complexity based application, I can go for OCLAT. Anything enterprise based application or larger complexity business logic, I can go for YARP. Clear my point? Very clear with the functionality.
Yes, sir.
Finally, conclusion. Best for enterprise microservices, full control over gateway, future-proofed architecture. That's a conclusion. Clear? That's all for YARP today. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to start fundamentals of coding with ASP.NET Core application. Clear my point? Let's start building the code one by one, and we can achieve all the implementation in that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So first 20 days, we will build a thread operation of ASP.NET Core of touching all the components so that everybody understand, and then we can move to the microservices project. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
Same to you.
Thank you.